your witnesses. That means that all of the chiefs always have a witness to.
Okay, y'all, we having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm sure he'll dial back in. Are you enjoying this? I know you are. I am. I'm absolutely enjoying this interview. So let me see. Where are you, Rod? Nope, you're right. They don't want this information out because it is absolutely critical, even to us, our empowerment, for us to go to that higher level together. We have to also go to a higher level individually. And when we can get rid of the fear of, here it comes. Let me get him back in. There you are. All right.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know why. I mean, you said, I guess this is too powerful.
Well, so
you
at this
point,
point,
you go to LA about the Crips, and that's what.
yeah. So they always ask you who a witness to your work in order to solidify what your status is on the land. That's different from the mainstream cultural norm. So the culture that we use is somebody always have to be a witness that you about what you say you about, that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do the way you said you was gonna do it. So they call that a witness to your work. Every step of the way, I'm one of the most scrutinized people when I look back on the history, because I done been under review since I was, look, when my mama used to go to all these different churches and tents and trailer parks and basements. When I remember being an iron baby, and she passed me around to all these old ladies. They be old as hell. Some of them dip snuff, and they be saying, oh yeah, Shady, it's the one right here. I don't know what they talking about, but I can still remember they chatter.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
know,
he's like, you've been under evaluation since you came out the gate.
right. And it wasn't until in the last 3 years of doing this work, I realized that I couldn't even be here if somebody didn't conjure me up. I have to be conjured up to come into the physical world by a group of people. One tribe cannot conjure me up. All of the tribes have to agree, because they don't know how I'm gonna behave when they conjure me up. And so they have to put me through cycles of training to temper my temperament so that I can have enough self-control to be useful. Otherwise, I'd be useless to the collective, and I'd be useful to some tyrants. Right?
So
But
when you decided to do what you were doing, to take it on like you have, with your whole heart and soul into this, it was it back in 2008 when you came? Or because personally, I just discovered you this year. Video popped up, and it was this year, and I was like, who is this man? And I said, he's a record keeper. Remember when I first? And so I tried to contact you, or I wanted to contact you, and then I said, I'm gonna interview him one day, and then you saw Grand Sheik and I doing a live in the park, and you reached out, and then I didn't believe it was you. But I'm just saying, I'm like, where'd he come from? But you didn't just start doing this, obviously. But no, when did folks start noticing you, that from your perspective, the way you're noticed now?
Over the last 3 years mostly, but there were certain people in certain places who knew where I've been and what I've been doing since birth.
Okay.
Been getting reports every step of the way. When I make mistakes, I don't let other people pay for my mistakes. That was a rare quality. But none of them believed that I was ready, because they didn't realize.
Got you blocked. I mean, break it up again. And it could be your internet. Maybe it's the speed on your phone. Can you hear me? Let me back there, y'all. Yeah, I know why. I know why. And you would think we were saying something wrong and something crazy, but what we're saying is true. What we're saying is empowerment, and that's the problem. Where you at? You back, Rod? You were back. Can you hear me? Okay, he's going to come back in. I see where Paul Wright L writes, why is it so important to free Larry Hoover, respectively, and why is he? Sorry about that with the noise in the background. A big part of things. Can you explain? Well, he can explain when he comes back. But from what if you've ever heard him speak on it, free Larry Hoover, he said, it's like a battle cry. It's not just while there is importance about. Okay, let him tell you, Brother Rod. There's a question that and I'm just going, even though we're talking about you, but can you explain this for those who've never heard you explain? Why is it so important to free Larry Hoover, respectively? Why is he a big part of things? Can you explain? Please explain.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. It's not just Larry Hoover.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That's a battle cry, a rallying cry.
Right. So when we got the 7.4 earthquake in New Mexico, they asking me in a series of exchanges of what we call knocks to knockbacks. The Galactic Council asked me for my leader because of the work that they seen me doing. They want to know who it is that I'm up under, who is the leader of the clan that I'm in, because I made all of the successful moves to reclaim our inheritance from the enemies. So when they ask me who I follow, who's my leader, I have to give them my clan leader. I can't give them no politicians because they're not our real leaders. I can't give them none of those corporate big hats because they're not our real leaders either. I can't give them a celebrity. I have to give them somebody that's from the land organically, who walked the same path as me before me, who may not be who people want him to be, but he is who he is to us as a people. The same way the free Larry Hoover, it also equally applies to Assata Shakur, the one formerly known as H. Rat Brown, Malachi Z. York, Chief Malik Angel Bay, formerly known as Jeff Ford, Black Peace Stone Nation, Stan Tukey Williams, who we believed was put to death, but was actually put in cryostasis at Area 51. The only person that I would accept that wasn't one of us, that was one of us, that was seen in the public on a regular basis was Farrakhan. Because when I did the science to trace back who the matriarch was, I ended up with Mother Khadijah. Using the rules of the land applied on the things that's operating on the land, I have to find the highest ranked matriarch in order to know how to restore our people. If we can't find her, then we don't know how to read the signs effectively enough to know the difference between the imposters on the land and our own people. Well, I clearly seen who she was. Farrakhan has the evidence and the verification proof, and he already presented it, and it's already been verified that all of the stuff that I said was accurate. So when they asked me for my leader, the only person I can give them, being that ever since I was, all of my cousins in my age group that I grew up with from in Chicago, I didn't live in these three cities. There's Grand Rapids, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, one spot, and learn the culture. The culture is all across the land, but you have to be exposed for a period of time to be able to assimilate this piece. Also, in before I went to prison, I lived in Mississippi. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. I lived in Seaford, Delaware. I lived in Newark, New Jersey, New York, right? I had to traverse the land, and a lot of these trips from these places was by bus, Greyhound. So here I am riding a Greyhound across the land and surveying the land, right? And so these, to me, these are translatable signs that other people that's listening that know how to read signs can translate, right? And so when they ask why is Larry Hoover relevant to our struggle, is because he was taken from us, a leader that we picked on the land ourselves. The government didn't pick Larry Hoover for the people. The people picked Larry Hoover, and the government rejected him and rebelled against the choice of the people. The same with Chief Malik Angel Bay, right? And it's a whole list of leaders in our communities that was being picked by the people, that was ruthlessly hunted down by a government operation called COINTELPRO, right? COINTELPRO is short for Counterintelligence Program, and the goal was to stop anybody, one of us with the capability, which everybody I named was capable, but it's one problem: you can't be a bond servant and redeem the land. You can't be in prison and call yourself the chief because you're under somebody else's subjugation. That means you are in a foreign jurisdiction. You can't give orders if you're in a foreign jurisdiction on your own land. That means you've been conquered. So me being the next in line saying, hey, if we gonna do what's right, we gonna unilaterally do what's right. Or I don't want to do it. I don't want to do half of what's right or a piece of what's right. I want to do the whole thing, change the whole thing to correctness, or I don't want anything to do with it. Right? So it's not just free Larry Hoover. That's just the condensation of all our complaints. The adrenochrome harvesting, the women trafficking, the sex trafficking, the children, the kidnapping the children, the selling us in the open market using our birth certificates, trading bonds. All this has to stop in order for us to ever see true prosperity and a new golden age on earth. And because my give a fuck meter don't move, for lack of a better way of putting it, I don't care enough about the enemy's well-being to not take them off our land. Whereas some people become so familiar in associations with the enemy that they don't care to remove them from the land, from taking food out of our babies' mouths. You don't have to agree with me. I'm still gonna fight for you. Because the universal law say you got a right to believe whatever you want. You got a right to think whatever you want. Be you right or wrong, that's your right. I can't take that from you. That's inalienable. Because if you didn't have the right to think what you want to think, then your thoughts wouldn't be enclosed in your own self-head. They would be on public display at all times for the random person to come through and change them. But that's not the case. So you got a right to believe what you want to believe. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just going to tell the truth until everybody understands, from frequency and vibration and verification of receipts. So don't believe me, check the receipt. Argue with the receipt, don't argue with me. That's my philosophy. The receipt's on the record. Been building up for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, and in the fullness of time or at the right time, that's when I came across you. I wasn't supposed to, I'm assuming, until now. And it's a good thing. Have you ever, you mentioned the Galactic Federation. I received a call from a sister, and I was supposed to be reaching out to you. I'm sorry. I apologize, rather, to the sister who was a part. Have you ever heard of the Committee of 300?
Yeah.
So she,
Committee of 300.
yeah. So it's sort of, it's, I believe, from what I got, it is sort of galactic in its origin, and she is a part of it. And so, she watches. I know she might have seen it, might be on here. I'm not sure. But, when she first reached out to me, it was like the committee is trying to figure out who you are. And she kind of wanted to have a conversation with you. But I was wondering if you were familiar with that.
So
She was selected to be part of the Committee 300.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
First and foremost, because I had some of the most prominent um,
What? Look at this. I don't know what the hell is going now. Look, it's still on. So now it's saying, usually when they do that, I have to restart it though.
Okay, don't worry about it. Let's just go on to the video to the
Hey, if y'all got any questions for the brother Rod on the topic, drop them in the chat, man. We're gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes worth of questions, man. I think it's right here with some heavy duty shit, man. You just gave me a whole bunch of shit. I could write a book on just what you put on what you gave me today. I could go do more research and put a book together called The Hologramic Reality.
I got some more to it. We ain't get to.
But do part 3. We'll do a part 3.
Okay.
Back free again. Let's see what they got. Hey, if you got any questions, drop them in the chat for the Rod. Yeah.
So as you can see, the game of life is the game of the gods. The game of the gods is played in the holographic universe.
Yeah.
The holographic universe produces the earth realm.
Yeah.
The earth realm is where we experience light. The rules say we have to be synced to the earth and come in with amnesia and remember who we are. The little girl told you it was thousands of us around the world scattered out in order to raise the vibration and the frequency of the planet. So now remember, I was showing you on the solar storm how the UV rays interact with the Earth's electromagnetic field. This generates what's known as the Schumann resonance.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be restored to the Schumann resonance, which is the right resonance. So if you go to Google and you look up Schumann, it's going to show you the canopy of the sky over the Earth. Right? That's the right frequency, the A tone. So as we all make an atonement for the dirt we did, then it automatically re-attunes the earth back to the A tone, which is the atonement of the earthborn in the redemption process to recover earth from those who can't stay here because they violated the cosmic law and created something known as the great debauchery. And in the process of cleaning up the great debauchery, we collected galactic points of suffering the motherfucking bottom of the barrel shit to build up something called pre-karma. Pre-karma is the points that we created by our suffering, being the firstborn of the earthborn, in order to see those who had less come into their own and be able to achieve more. So we passed the God gene to the God creation because God created something they ain't had no business doing because they didn't have the prime creator permission, nor did they have the permission of the queen of heaven and earth. So now they come into our community to get their drop of blood, but they got to get it by any means necessary, even at the tip of the sword. So the Shriners come in 32 degrees Scottish Rite on the challenge Fez versus Feathers under George Washington Masonic order to put us in the warlock. So now that we can't in the warlock, we can't access our coffers, we hold our wealth. But in order to break free from the warlock, one of us got to break free from the slumber, come up from under the sleep, build themselves as the perfected man, master of masters, the self-raised master. Hiram Abiff's rage, the motherfucking Masonic Lodge, all motherfucking lodges bump straight. And then 45 come in because he come in off of ACP. Now that's a military firearm, right? Which is in modern times a Desert Eagle, but the Desert Eagle is a 50 cal. And a 50 cal will blow a hole in your ass big enough to walk through. If you think bullshit, watch what the 45 do. Because the 45 will leave a hole in your ass and leave you leaking for days. So when the 45 land, that's the Desert Eagle on the return in the Air Force One off of a Raven Rock knock to a knockback, zigzag zig, all the chiefs across the land is rocking this bitch from motherfucking hand to hand. We done with the bullshit. Now it's time to unload a full clip on a Gangstar flip off of a guru. And the guru is a teacher. And the teacher is the master teacher on the Malachi York knock to a knockback off a speaker. And the speaker is Minister Farrakhan, who has Aaron in his name, but y'all didn't ever catch that because y'all don't know the code. Because the minister named him Farrakhan Muhammad, not Louis Farrakhan, but y'all can't get it right because he was the charmer. So he was so busy charming y'all, he ain't stopped y'all from calling him Louis. Because Louis XIV was instrumental in the European rebellion, but y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all too busy trying to drink Louis XV wine, right? So now that we in the club and we hanging late night, motherfuckers doing these line dances. Now we capture the conjure. We capture the conjure to send the energy back to Mother Earth that the the old ones has returned. As Empress Verdiasi say, the ancient ones, the return of the ancient ones. And how you gonna know when the guys are standing before you? Because they're gonna experience a different lifestyle that's gonna allow them to show you how to shine in the public. By using exceptional brilliance and overwhelming intellect, they'll be able to connect the dots across the celebrity circles to the politician, bring out the dirty players and expose them motherfuckers for who they is. Tell you what's going on behind the scenes without being behind the scenes, sitting here watching it play out, understanding the land and how to read the culture. Once you understand how to read the culture, then you know who the culture vultures really is. But the vulture is the condor, and the condor is fearless. He don't give a fuck. But he fucked around and stayed too long, and the eagles then came home. Now they wondering why the chickens is coming home to roost, because it's time to collect the bounty. Because when Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, none of the king's horses and none of the king's men could put poor Humpty back together again. That's pure wasted potential. But if you can figure out how to unscramble the scrambled eggs, all you need is a possibility, and I'm going to take the chance. Because if I can take the chance and we can all dance Mardi Gras across the land from motherfucking Maine to goddamn Arizona, from Alaska to Florida, zigzag zig, X marks the spot. We home now, motherfucker. We back for every fucking thing they owe. No longer oppressed. That's why we overthrow those that placed us in this rotten mess with their motherfucking dirty ass games that they was playing. We talking dirty Moors. We ain't talking righteous Moors. Because in the Feather versus the Feds is the Bays win this bitch. Right? Because it was Bays versus the L's. Because the L's said they was lawgivers, and King George III instituted the Bar Association in 1863 in Savannah, Georgia. So we know who was behind the barristers the whole time, the black nobility, aka the goddamn white man that ain't even white, that look like us, but they ain't us. That's why they call us lichens, because we look like kin, but we ain't. We just wear the wolves. That's why they call us werewolves. But there's some blood-sucking, adrenal cream drinking motherfuckers. But since we know who's who and what's what, it's time to shut this motherfucker up. So let's go to the audience and see if we got some questions out.
Yeah, we got a question that said, well, let me see, damn, we got too many comments out there. He said, how can artificial supplements help the natural body?
So look, the artificial supplements is not necessarily from an artificial source. It's just that the source was refined in order to extract the part that you can supplement with, because the food is being grown using artificial means. So they have to extract supplements from other locations, sometimes toxic sources that you couldn't take in its free form, but they can get the vitamin or the mineral out, and you can take it without having the negative side effect of consuming the toxin. So the artificial supplement, keep in mind, it's not really artificial.
To me, there's really, when you look at how you're breaking everything down, there's really no such thing as artificial.
Well, it becomes artificial when you assemble it from scratch. So if I was to go in the lab and take the atomic molecules used to make water and I alter the isotopes, I made artificial water that has a different weight density because of the alteration in the isotope.
I see what you're saying. I was like, official means to you legit. You know what I'm saying? It's straight. You know.
Well, the first word of artificial is art.
Yeah, that's right.
Art comes from the creative mind. The creative mind is the mind of God expressed through the hands of man.
So if you are official, that means, nigga, you official with this art. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because you can reproduce and replicate.
Yeah.
Your words can manifest, your deeds can manifest. So if you can tell a compelling story to inspire deeper thought in somebody else, then you become a master of thought forms. You control thought. You become an instrumental part of the community because your energy changes the way people perceive reality. That's why you explain the rules of the game. You know, when the problem is too big for one, they got to call somebody who can figure the problem out next. If he can't solve it, he got to call next. And then you get to what's called the final solution. The final solution is the final resolution. And the final resolution is the final resolve. And the final resolve is the resolve to get this shit done. Right? And so when we look at how everybody contributed to the art of life. Remember, it's in the book, you the salt of the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to be the salt of the earth, you have to have the creative potential expressed. If you look on your screen right now, you got Mick Jagger, you got, I don't know if that's Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
And you got that talk show host, Tupac, and then you got old Blue Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
All of them had what's called the spark, the song. We didn't start the spot fire, but the things been burning since the world been turning, right? So we didn't start the fire. The fire is the Promethean flame.
Mm-hmm.
The Promethean flame is the unadulterated intelligence of the gods. Now remember, Prometheus climbed up to Mount Olympus and stole a little bit of the flames.
Mm-hmm.
That means he got a female that was born of the gods to marry and reproduce to give that flame to his seed, his progeny.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gave that flame to his progeny, now he's passed on the wisdom of the gods to his offspring. And wisdom is always justified of her children. Right? Why do they call her? Sophia, Ein Sof, right? From Malkuth to Kephra.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to Kephra, you encounter Ein Sof, Sophia, right? And Sophia is feminine for wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. So if Sophia is wisdom and wisdom is justified of her children, they're talking about the queen's chamber in the brain. And in the queen's chamber in the brain is where the pineal gland sits. And on the other side is the king's chamber where the pituitary gland sits.
Mm-hmm.
And the two glands hold entirely two different functions. The pituitary gland develops your maturity. As a man, it turns you masculine. As a woman, it turns you feminine. And from the queen's chamber, we are downloading through the interior gyrus in the brain the instructions from Big Mama in the queen's chamber. And if there's no occupier of the queen's chamber, your mama can't die. She got to stay here till you find somebody that match her energy or love for you, unconditional.
You're born again.
Right. And so the story of Earth, right? The story of Earth is a love story in the end. The love story is bringing the love back where the misery dwells.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to unravel the love story in real life, you have to unravel all of the mysteries of time, but we call them legends and tales. Right? When you unravel that, then you find yourself in the midst of the mystery system and you become the unsolved mystery. So if you can see if you can find the mystery, the answer revolves around your history. So quietly, I dropped this degree scientifically and realistically, said Raquel. The 18th letter, the R. You catch that?
Mm-hmm.
And 18 is 3 6s, by the way.
And 81 on the mirror flip.
Yeah, and 81 is 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you put all this shit together, you see that some people just needed a drop of blood in order to be creative as us. Mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The galactic family then came back to see that we accomplished the task they left us to do. We fought amongst each other, but I promise you this, we ain't even got to burn this bitch down, even if we piss. Because at the end of the day, after the anger and the rage, comes the understanding of the price that we paid.
Deep.
Right? Once you understand that the price you paid was for a better day, then you have paved the way for your children to see the motherfucking shit you suffer for. Mm-hmm. And as long as you don't do that, you ain't breaking no generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Breaking the generational curses is giving up all of the things that don't serve the greater good. And if each one teach one, we all gonna reach some. Right? And the more we reach, the better we can teach. And the better we can teach, the more we can reach. It's a reciprocal manifestation of real time, understanding the holographic nature of the board game of life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we understand that we take on new avatars when we wear this one out. But now we have the technological ability to expand the life of the avatar that we already had, but it was denied access by nefarious forces so that we can forever be under the perpetual ignorance of who we were.
Mm-hmm.
But the spell is broken and the gods is awakened. So when we put together the holographic universe in front of your face to show you piece by piece how it's assembled, who else has done that?
Right.
Get them motherfuckers, young elder. Bust them niggas in.
Hey, we got them niggas tonight, man. Hey, we about to get up out of here though, because I'm about to wind down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can take let's take 2 more questions.
I got you. Somebody said once dude was asking about the clock of destiny. How can
Charles Mosby Bay?
Yeah, it's like he said, how can you track? So can the clock of destiny help tracking reincarnation energy cycle?
When you understand what he's teaching in the clock of destiny, you'll know how to read the astrological time frames. Right? He's teaching you the fundamentals of astrology as it's applied from our ancient ancestors, and it's slightly different than what we call the modern astrology. So he's giving you ancient Kemetic science, but he's telling it in a modern format. The same with C. Freeman Neal. He's telling you metaphysics and applied metaphysics and how to use it in order to accelerate your ascension. But most of the people can't understand what C. Freeman Neal is talking about because the science is beyond what they used to experiencing, so they can't sit through the lectures to get what they need to get. He's talking too much over their head. And he's breaking it down simple, but you have to be a diligent student in order to pay attention. And that's why I'm a master student, not the master teacher.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same.
So I tell you what all my teachers showed me, and then I could put it all together so y'all can see what I see. And once y'all see what I see, y'all can't unsee this shit.
Right. We got one more for you, Brother Rod, before we get up out of here from the Sister Tiffany. Robot Chief Rod, can you please elaborate a little bit more on the Shu Tefnut resonance?
So we was under a flip grid that gave us a double positive masculine polarity on the earth. They call it a Shu Men resonance. If you look up the god Shu and you look up the god Men, they are 2 male deities. This is a violation of Earth's gender contract to allow men to rule, to be under a double male domination. Like right here, you see you got a north and a south magnetic pole.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We only use the north magnetic pole because we in the northern hemisphere. But just like you have calibrated north magnetic pole magnets, you also have calibrated south pole magnets too. So that when you're in the southern hemisphere, you can traverse the land using the southern point of reference, which is up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you're looking at those lines coming out, that's the developing of the electromagnetic field. Now, if you look up Shu Tefnut, go to Google Images, put in Shu Tefnut.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I gotta restart the computer.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Right.
So Shu Tefnut is Mother Earth and the moisture of the sky, and it's the meeting of the two under the 432 hertz is the earth frequency. The Schumann resonance is calibrated on a different frequency to give us a pitch, the wrong pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the wrong pitch, you'll never hit a home run.
That's right.
Now, when the Schumann resonance flip back correctly, it becomes the Shu Tefnut resonance, which is the proper frequency of the earth. When that's what they call the pole flip. Before, the whole crust would flip around on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, only the energy, because it's just Nibiru is going to pass just far enough not to flip the crust.
Okay.
But it's still going to pull on the electromagnetic field and cause the magnets to flip. And those frequencies that you see will be reoriented to the position they are now. South is up, north is down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all of the ones of us that had a north calibrated compass, it ain't gonna work right. It's gonna draw you to the south.
Mm-hmm.
So your north gonna be reading south on your compass because of the electromagnetic grid flip. And so when I'm talking about the Shu Teflon resonance, I'm talking about the ancient geographical physics of the Kemetic science, ancient Egypt, as they call it today.
Oh yeah, you put it down tonight, Rod. We about to get up out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, we thank you for coming on, brother Rod. Let me know when you're ready to do the next one, man. We back. Man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Like every time the brother Rod come on, it's always a new level of information that I can take, that we all can take, and we can run with it. There's a very interesting book in the League of Chariots of Gods. However, the Kindle edition is paired to get with their thousands of grammar. Okay, all right, boom. This is somebody comment on it. Oh, I know how to find. We make it find something on it. Hold on. Let me look this way right here. Go right here. Then you go to, let's say wars. So that's when these. I know about this war. It's when they're going to pick good picture of one where they really look like right there. That's how they really look right there.
That's a good picture. That's why the capstones is going off the pyramids too.
Yeah, let me save it. That's a really good picture of what it looked like right there. And these beans came down from Orion too. These beans, these are Hindu beans. That's a real good picture of what it really looked like right there. That's how they look. And it's different series of them because they develop more and more. When they got here, they got a better development. This is what they look like now. But when the old ones look more older, like this one right here. That's the older ones. Really,
that was humans trying to replicate.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. This is a humans. This is like the Adolf Hitler type trying to copy these people's shit. Right, but this is more what it looked like, just like this right here. It looked.
Hey, in the same row you got that picture. Go all the way to the left. You might right be able to see it. That might be the minus.
Right there.
The one in stone.
Okay, the one in stone right here. Right here.
Oh, that's the layout of the cities.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the Vimanas Wars is told in a story called Bhagavad Gita. All right. So when you read what the Gita is about, hey, don't you notice that the one on the left look kind of like Queen Mother Tai?
Where right here?
Up there that you got up that you just had up. No, the picture you just had up.
Oh, okay, right here.
Right there. At a distance, it looked like Queen Mother Tai.
Okay, this right here, picture right here in the middle.
No, the one on the left.
Right here.
That's the right.
Oh yeah, my love, your love. and you know, these people, these Hindus, when they came at the military, they used elephants and air balloons. They were throwing these like bombs from these air balloons. So that's what like the air balloon culture, like it like man, it's a whole bunch of shit that's coming up now in my head. I'm telling you that I'm putting together.
The Chinese had ancient flying machines too, but we ain't got to them yet.
Yeah, like the air. I'm gonna write a whole fucking book called Ancient Flying Machines, and I'm gonna talk about the origin of the balloon. We was the first ones that doing that shit, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Now look
at this.
Let's go back to the page before this.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. We're looking for Bamanas War. See if you see them on there. I can't see the
Right here.
screen, so I
This right
can't
here
tell you.
might be this is something on it right here, I think. This is something on it. Right here, I think. Hold on, all using doing the. All right, it says right here, it says our ancient texts describe many. Man, don't let me butcher this word. Bananas.
Bamanas.
Yeah, bananas. Was a bananas used during the ancient wars. It is it said it is acknowledged to think about the technical advancements during that period in the I can't say this word right here. Bahajataba. That's some fucking
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. Remember, I just told you that the wars was talked about in there.
All right, okay, the Bhagavad Gita, Purana. We can follow the
Paramahans.
description of, huh?
It was a story from Patanjali was talking to Arjuna.
Hey, who is Maya? Maya. That's that chick in the blue, right? That blue chick.
No, Maya means illusions.
I know Maya means illusion. I'm saying that's one of the chick's name that was fighting in the war. The blue chick. That's one of her names, Maya.
Oh, might be.
Yeah, like the chick that was fighting, that was chopped. Because remember, you broke down a story. You said, "Look at this chick, and she got blue like this chick right here." Hold on, I'm gonna keep this screen. Let me do it like this right here. Because this right here ties in too with what you're saying, and you had already broke this lady down on another tape right here.
You talking about in the Great Wall?
No, not in the Great Wall. I'm gonna show you. It was a chick that had somebody had these heads chopped off.
Oh, that's Kali Ma.
Yeah, that's what. See, one of the names that they call her in one of the lanes. I think Baba said it in the book. It was Maya, and that's it ties right here. This her right here.
Mm-hmm.
With the head chopped off. You said that she was a good being, right?
Don't that look like Enlil in her head in her hand?
Yeah.
When you see these sisters in this imagery, right? These
Yeah.
was the warrior women that was fighting on the ground during the Vamanas Wars. They was the fierce women warriors that they be talking about. The Dahomey, the Amazon, you know where Diana from, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Donna. What's up?
Diana is supposed to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So all of these different women, you know, you see Kali Ma like this, you see Sekhmet in the rage, you see some of the daughters like this, Maya. All of them were actual people that fought. And those four arms show you her methods.
Okay.
Right. Now, if you look around her neck, she got a ring of skulls around her neck.
Yeah, all the men kings she conquered, huh?
Right. So that means taking heads. She been taking heads.
Yeah.
Now, what else she got in her hand?
She got some incense fire. Like
that's a cauldron.
A head chopper. She got an eye, like it's something to open in her own.
Right, because right there's a chakra in your hand. So she telling you that her power to take his is in the magic, the sword, and in the personal power of her intuitive self.
She got a lot of gold on too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because all of that gold, that's the Oshun colors. And the daughters are okay. So it's 12 daughters of Isis.
Yeah.
Isis make 13. Where do those numbers come in at again? The 12 sons of Jacob.
Yeah.
And Jacob make 13.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what was Jacob's daughter name?
I don't remember. Was it? No, I'm thinking about Canon's daughter. What's his daughter name?
Diana.
Yeah, Diana. That's my mama middle name, Diana.
So that's why the 13th tribe is not mentioned, because it's the mother's line that they conceal.
Oh shit! So you just gave me another piece. My mama middle name Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie Diana Williams.
Now let's pull up the description for the Gita.
All right,
G-I-T. G-I-T.
Hold on, let me get it. All right, say it again.
G-I-T-A. That's all you gotta write. It's gonna pop up in the Okay, we want the description of what it's about.
So they look like them. The Hindu crown look like the Pope crown.
Go to the main page, see if we can find out what it's about.
The Gita, often referred to as the Gita, is a 700 verse Hindu script that is part of the epic Mahabharata. Yeah, dated to the second half of the first millennium BCE, and is typical of the Hindu synthetics. It is considered to be one of the holy scriptures for Hinduism.
I want to see, they're talking about the book. I want to tell you what's in the book.
Okay, what does it mean? It says, this is so small, I can't even. Either the Sanskrit word meaning songs, singing, chants, or praise.
No. You're reading the titles, the descriptions of the titles. I'm trying to get what's inside the book. So we got to do a book.
That's what I'm looking for. Content of the book. Let's see. It's a whole religion. They got the book right here. This is the book right here, chapter 1 through. I'm trying to see. Let's see.
It should be on the introduction.
Yeah, introduction. Let's hit them. Man, I can't read this shit. It's
too little for me to read.
Okay, let me blow it up.
I think it's right click and the arrow will be in there.
Let me see. Nah, this shit right here it is like the names. I first offered my respect. Hold on, let me see if I can find this part about what the book is about. There are two ways of acquiring knowledge. The first is the ascension process, in which the utility of our senses, minds, and intelligence to explore, discover, and conclude about the nature of truth. The second is the ascension process, where we simply receive the knowledge from a proper source. The ascension process of gaining knowledge and inherited prone to defect sense. Our sense, mind, and intelligence are made from.
No, that's not telling you what the book about. That's not helping.
Yeah, that's how I know. I was just reading to see if it was going to go into that part. Really, this intro part is just talking about his life and the dude.
Yeah, that's the guy that's translated telling his glory stories.
Yeah,
they always got to tell you a glory story at the beginning of the book.
Yeah, to make you believe God, some God, power, something or something like that. Yeah. Okay,
but so what we doing, the purpose of showing these texts, right, is to show the people where to look to find the story pieces to put them together. Because they scattered everywhere. That's how they scattered the language. They scattered all of the knowledge as well. So when we become well read, we know where everything is because we read it already. Right? So this was the purpose of even knowing what this book was about. We can show them the cover again and we can move on from here.
All right.
So I'm gonna do a little synopsis of what we just went over. And this is just showing y'all that these ancient wars was already fought thousands of years ago that put us in the state of darkness under light lock by the Galactic Council. And we had to make sure that everybody had the equal opportunity to ascend, whether they ascend or not, or become a personal option, as opposed to somebody else sacrificing you to keep you from ascending. So nobody is supposed to interfere in the free will universe with your rights of ascension. So Yakub had to come over here and get a drop of blood for his grafted devils. And his grafted devils ain't necessarily pink. Some of them motherfuckers look like us, but they ain't us. Right? So we see that they do the rape thing from Enlil himself. Right? So we know where that comes from. Remember, they say the book is say, you are not of my father, you are your father. He was a liar from the beginning, and there was no truth in him. Right? So who told the first lie? When they told him don't eat from this tree.
Right.
That's the first lie on record. The day you eat from this tree, you're gonna die. The day they ate from that tree, they were still living. Now the church tell you some bullshit, and this is the rhetoric the church tell you, all in Adam died. That's not what they told Adam. They say the day you eat from that tree, that very day, it specifically say that, you shall die. Right?
Yeah.
So they lied to him, told him he was gonna die if he ate from the tree. And then who's the first snitch? Adam.
Right.
Right? So he the first snitch on record because he told on his woman. He wasn't even no rider for his old lady.
Right.
Right? So who is it that Adam was? Adam was a Ghulam.
Okay.
You want to look up a Ghulam?
Yeah. Why you spell it?
GHULAM. You see, right? They got a dude kissing the girl right there. It's written on there. It's written on the second one too, at the top. That right there is an ancient Chaldean creation. Now, notice I said Chaldean. They talk about this in the Holy Sephira, and they teach them how to make Ghulams in the Babylonian money magic. And the purpose of a Ghulam was to do their dirty work without them being caught. The Ghulam was the abhorrent man, the man that was unlike all of the rest of the men. Right? So this is what they made. You activate the Ghulam by incantations to the third eye.
Yeah, okay. I see it. Right, I see it right here. You doing it right there, the sign.
Once you do the incantation on the third eye, the Ghulam has become a sentient being temporarily. He's artificial intelligence being programmed. The chip that you put in the programming, they show you on the Jews with the box on their forehead. The box on the forehead represents the program, the computer program. And the computer program go back to the black box. Where's the black box at?
Yeah, where's the black box?
Mecca.
Inside of the airplane.
It's Mecca.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Kaaba.
The Kaaba.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Right, and on the Kaaba is the black stone. Right, and the black stone is the peace stone.
Go ahead.
And the peace stones is the pussy stone, and the pussy stone is Mama's pearl.
Yeah, Mama's pearl. Go ahead.
Right. So Mama Pearl let down your curls was saying, look for a hair flip from Mama's pearl. It was a coded message from Michael Jackson when he was a shorty. You remember the song? Mama's pearl, let down your curls. Won't you give my love a whirl? Show you what you've been missing. Goody girl, let down your curls. Won't you give my love a whirl? Show you what you've been missing. You remember that?
I probably ain't old enough for that one.
Yeah, that was when he was a shorty. Mama's pearl.
Yeah,
one of his biggest songs. Right.
Yeah.
So he was flipping codes in most of his music. Who was writing the music for Motown?
Tahuti?
Smokey.
Yeah. Tahuti.
Watch this. Smokey Robinson is the highest Hayoka chief on the land. All of his music is masterfully written to get a message to the future by catching the groove down a groove line. The groove line is going to tell you that there's a temptation. The temptation is going to tell you there's a papa who was a rolling stone.
Mm-hmm.
The rolling stone had to first be hewn from a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's hewn from the mountain, it rolls downhill.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Once it rolls downhill, it strikes the kingdom of iron and clay.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom of iron and clay was the final empire of the Babylonian Empire.
Mm-hmm.
What do the iron and clay represent?
Go ahead. Iron and clay.
What's the symbol for iron? Fe, right?
Yeah.
And the symbol for clay is, or another name for clay is mud, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So mud is female on the homonym.
That's right. Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
So the in order to bring the sisters back to prominence, because what Elijah said, a nation can't do what? A nation can rise no higher than its women, right?
Yeah. Man, you just can I say something right quick?
Yep.
You know, man, you just made some that the shit you just said about the iron and shit. You know, I used to wonder why my grandma and them and all the women, they always eating ice. And then I found out that they iron, some of them women iron below. And then I figured out that when you go to the these doctors or whatever, and you ask them to check their iron, they say, "Oh, we don't check iron." And iron, Dr. Sabi said that most people or the women they deficiency in iron. They immune and iron is for your immune system, and it helps your red blood cells carry oxygen to your different organs. So, do you think that all that plays a part in why we not winning right now? Or why we about to start winning though? But
no, this shit over with, dog. We done won like a motherfucker.
We done won like a motherfucker.
We showing the people how we won.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, fair and square, right? Fair and square.
Right. So once you expose the devil to the public, I just showed y'all who Emil was.
Go ahead.
Right. Now, if you can look him up, if you go to YouTube, you can look up Maitreya appears in Africa.
Okay.
And that's how you will find the video showing him walking around, and you can listen to the story of the bullshit he running.
Right there, right in Africa.
Yeah. Yep.
You mean pull it up right now?
You want to?
Hell yeah. Let's get this
pull
nigga.
That shit up.
Let's get this nigga right now, man.
Oh, when I seen the drop bomb, I thought you was pulling it up.
Let's get this nigga right now, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. Well, wait. We guys can't sleep on this. Oh, look. Let's get this nigga, man. I want to hear what this nigga said. I want you to break this nigga down. Hold up. What'd you say the nigga name was, man?
Maitreya. Matreya. In Africa.